All right, Thronies. Let's dive back into the fire and ice of Season 7. Winter is officially here, and the game has reached a whole new level of intensity. We kick things off with a chillingly satisfying moment. Arya Stark, wearing the face of Walder Frey, poisons the entire Frey household, finally avenging the Red Wedding. Leave one wolf alive, and the sheep are never safe. It's an epic start, and a reminder that the North remembers. From there, Arya begins her journey south, originally planning to kill Cersei. But a chance encounter with Hot Pie changes her mind. She learns Jon is king in the North, and she turns her horse around, heading for Winterfell. Her reunion with Sansa is complicated. Years of trauma have changed them both. Their bond is tested by Littlefinger, who's lurking in the shadows, trying to sow discord between the sisters. We also get that incredible reunion with her direwolf Nymeria, a bittersweet moment that shows just how much Arya has changed. Meanwhile, Bran Stark, now the three-eyed raven, finally makes it back to Winterfell. His reunion with Sansa is awkward, to say the least. He's no longer the little brother she knew. He's distant, all-knowing, and frankly, a little creepy. He sees everything past, present, and future which will become crucial later on. Up at the wall, Jon Snow, now king in the North, is preparing for the real war. The one against the Night King and his army of the dead. He knows they need dragonglass to defeat the White Walkers, and Samwell Tarly, down at the Citadel, discovers a massive deposit of it is located right under Dragonstone. And who just so happens to have landed at Dragonstone? Daenerys Targaryen. She's finally home. After seasons of building her army and raising her dragons, she's arrived in Westeros, landing at her family's ancestral seat. With her are Tyrion Lannister as her hand, her massive Dothraki army, the Unsullied, and of course, her 3 fully grown dragons, Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. Her initial strategy, devised by Tyrion, is to avoid a direct assault on King's Landing. Instead, she sends the Unsullied to take Casterly Rock, the Lannister stronghold, while her Dornish and Tyrell allies lay siege to the capital. That this is Game of Thrones, and plans never go smoothly. Jaime Lannister, ever the brilliant military commander, anticipates this. He leaves a small force at Casterly Rock and takes the bulk of the Lannister army to Highgarden, sacking the Tyrell home and wiping out their forces. We get that amazing final scene with Olenna Tyrell, who, before taking her own life with poison, confesses to Jaime that she was the one who poisoned Joffrey. Tell Cersei, I want her to know it was me. At the same time, Euron Greyjoy and his Iron Fleet ambush Yara and Theon's ships. Euron captures Yara and Ellaria Sand, and Theon, triggered by his trauma as Reek, jumps overboard, abandoning his sister. Euron delivers Ellaria and her daughter Tyne to Cersei as a gift. Cersei's revenge is brutal. She poisons Tyne with the same poison used to kill Myrcella and forces Ellaria to watch her daughter die. Cersei is now Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, pregnant with Jaime's child, and more ruthless than ever. With her allies crushed, Daenerys decides to take matters into her own hands. She unleashes Drogon and the Dothraki on the Lannister army as they're returning from Highgarden. This is the Loot Train attack, and it is absolutely spectacular. It's the first time we see a dragon and the Dothraki fight in Westeros, and the devastation is immense. Jaime, in a moment of sheer bravery or foolishness, charges at Daenerys and is only saved from dragonfire by Bronn tackling him into the water. Back on Dragonstone, Jon Snow arrives to ask for Daenerys' help and for permission to mine the dragonglass. Their first meeting is tense. She demands he bend the knee. He refuses, insisting the real threat is the army of the dead. Tyrion mediates, and they eventually reach a compromise. Jon can mine the dragonglass and a cautious alliance, and a bit of romantic tension begins to form between the king in the north and the mother of dragons. While this is happening, Samwell Tarly makes another huge contribution. He finds Jorah Mormont at the Citadel, suffering from advanced grayscale. Against the Archmaster's orders, Sam performs a dangerous and gruesome procedure to cure Jorah, who then returns to Daenerys' side, eternally loyal. Sam, frustrated with the Citadel's inaction against the White Walker threat, eventually leaves with Gilly and Little Sam, but not before Gilly stumbles upon a Mest's diary that mentions Rhaegar Targaryen had his marriage annulled and was remarried in a secret ceremony in Dorne. A massive clue that everyone, including Sam, misses at the time. To convince Cersei of the true danger, Tyrion proposes a crazy plan. Capture a white and bring it to King's Landing as proof. So, Jon Snow leads a suicide squad beyond the wall. The mission is a disaster. They manage to capture one white but are quickly surrounded by the entire army of the dead on a frozen lake. The Rose dies, meaning Beric is on his last life. In a desperate move, Jon sends Gendry running back to Eastwatch to send a raven to Daenerys. Just as all hope seems lost, Daenerys arrives on Drogon with Rhaegal and Viserion. They burn hundreds of whites, but in the chaos, the Night King, with an almost casual aim, hurls an ice spear and strikes Viserion. The dragon screeches and crashes into the frozen lake, sinking beneath the ice. It's a devastating loss. Daenerys is heartbroken. Jon is left behind on the ground but is saved by his long-lost uncle Benjen Stark, who sacrifices himself to ensure Jon escapes. On the boat back south, a grieving Daenerys sees Jon's scars and finally understands the threat is real. In a powerful moment, Jon pledges his allegiance, finally bending the knee. He calls her, "My queen." The romantic tension that's been building all season finally culminates. Back at Winterfell, Littlefinger's manipulation of Sansa and Arya reaches its peak. He tries to turn them completely against each other using an old letter Sansa was forced to write. For a moment, it seems like he's succeeded. He's pushing Sansa to see Arya as a threat. But in a brilliant twist, the Stark sisters were playing him all along. In the Great Hall, Sansa confronts Littlefinger, listing his crimes. Murdering Lysa Arryn, betraying Ned Stark, orchestrating the war. With Bran providing the irrefutable evidence, Littlefinger's game is finally over. He begs for his life, but Sansa sentences him to death, and Arya carries out the sentence with his own Valyrian steel dagger. The pack survives. The season finale brings everyone together at the Dragon Pit in King's Landing. Jon, Daenerys, Tyrion, Cersei, Jaime, Euron and all the major players are there. The Hound brings out the crate containing the white. It charges at Cersei, and she is visibly terrified. Euron Greyjoy pretends to be so scared that he takes his fleet and sails back to the Iron Islands. Cersei, seemingly convinced, agrees to a truce and promises to send her armies north to help fight the dead. But it was all a lie. Later, she reveals to Zemi that she has no intention of helping. She plans to let her enemies fight the dead, and then deal with whoever is left. She even reveals that Euron didn't flee. He went to Essos to ferry the Golden Company, a powerful army of Sellswords, to Westeros. This is the final straw for Jaime. Disgusted by her betrayal of humanity, he finally leaves her and rides north alone, as the first snowflakes begin to fall on King's Landing. While Jon and Daenerys sail north, their relationship becomes intimate. As this happens, we get a voiceover from Bran and a flashback courtesy of Sam, who has now put the pieces together. Rhaegar Targaryen did not kidnap Lyanna Stark. They were in love. He annulled his first marriage and secretly married Lyanna. This means Jon Snow is not a bastard at all. He is Aegon Targaryen, the true-born son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, and the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. and he just slept with his aunt. It's a very Game of Thrones revelation. At Eastwatch by the Sea, Tormund and Beric watch in horror as the army of the dead finally arrives at the wall. And leading them is the Night King, riding the reanimated corpse of Viserion. The undead dragon unleashes streams of blue fire, melting the wall in minutes. The magical protection is gone. The army of the dead marches into the Seven Kingdoms. Winter is no longer coming, it is here. And that's where we leave off, on the precipice of the great